Men, got a question for you today. Are you serving Jesus but missing him? In the story of Mary and Martha, Jesus reveals something that confronts our hustle, our anxiety, and the way we measure our worth. What if your value isn't found in what you do, but in who you're with? Let's talk about choosing the better portion. Hey, welcome to I Know a Guy Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Cummings. I Know a Guy Podcast is a podcast ministry of Bringing Kingdom. Go to bringingkingdom.org, where we every day are walking with men and helping them discover and live out of their identity as beloved sons, to know who they are. Our identity is not in what we do, it's knowing who we are and living out of that and loving others well, because we already know who we are as men. Guys, there's a story in Scripture that has quietly confronted me more times than I can count, and it's very familiar, almost too familiar. Jesus shows up in a home. Martha's busy, Mary is still, and tension fills the room. Luke tells us that Martha is what? Distracted by much serving. The word distracted gets me every time. It's not sinful, it's not rebellious, and it's not wrong. It's just distracted. And if I'm honest, that describes a lot of my life. I'm always been about the tasks. I lived to the list. I'm a doer. I want to make sure I can fix things. Go, 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 go. That is me. I am a recovering human doing. I am a recovering Martha. Every time I've heard the story, yep, that's me. My wife is Mary. My wife is sitting at Jesus' feet. And throughout our 37 years of marriage, I'm the Martha, she's the Mary. And so I'm sitting there going, well, it's not bad because I'm quote unquote doing stuff for Jesus. Look how hard I'm working for you. But if I'm honest, if I'm really honest, Martha is doing what good people do when Jesus shows up. She's serving, she's preparing, she's hosting, she's producing, holding it all together. She's doing things for Jesus. Now, Mary, on the other hand, she ain't helping at all. She's sitting there at his feet, listening. And finally, Martha snaps, because we have snapped. It's like, why aren't you doing what I'm doing? Don't you see we're supposed to be serving the King of Kings here in our home? And so you snap. There's resentment going on. She says to Jesus, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her to help me. That question hits hard. Don't you care? I don't know if I've been that direct with the Father, but I mean, that's pretty harsh. Because beneath Martha's frustration isn't anger at Mary, it's a question about Jesus' attention. And Jesus responds in a way that feels both gentle and deeply unsettling. Martha, you're anxious and troubled about many things, but only one thing's necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion. Notice what Jesus doesn't say. He doesn't shame Martha. He doesn't rebuke her service. And he doesn't tell her that serving is wrong. He names her inner world. He says, you're anxious and you're troubled. In other words, Martha, your doing has replaced your being. Oh my gosh, man. Raise your hand out there if you're driving, if you're listening somehow. How many, I got both hands in the air right now. How many times has that happened? Your doing has replaced your being. And here's the tension we don't like to talk about. Martha and Mary both love Jesus, but only one of them is letting Jesus define who she is in that moment. Okay? Martha's identity is tied to her usefulness. Mary's identity is rooted in her nearness. Martha believes, I'm valuable if I contribute. Mary says and lives from, I'm valuable because I belong. Men, I know we're looking at two females, but this is the same thing for men. Okay, we feel the same way. We feel I'm only valuable if I can contribute. And what Jesus is saying is, you already are valuable. You're my beloved son. You belong to me. I chose you. And this is where the story becomes less about two sisters and more about us. Most of us live like Martha. We measure our worth by what? Productivity. We prove our value by performance. We feel closest to God when we're doing something for him. But here's the quiet lie that sneaks in. Are you ready? If I stop doing, I'll disappear. So we stay busy, we stay needed, and we stay exhausted. And then we wonder why our souls feel hollow. Jesus says only one thing is necessary, not activity, not output, not even ministry, presence, being with him. Because men, identity doesn't flow from what we do. It flows from who we are with. Mary's not choosing laziness. She's choosing trust. Trust that she doesn't need to earn a seat at his feet. Trust that love doesn't require hustle. Trust that she's already enough before she ever lifts a finger. And maybe that's why this story unsettles us as men, because slowing down exposes the question we'd rather avoid. Who am I if I stop performing? Can I say that again? We're avoiding the question, who am I if I stop performing? Jesus isn't asking Martha to stop serving forever. He's inviting her to stop striving for a moment, to let service flow from identity instead of being a substitute for it. And I wonder how many of us as men are serving Jesus while missing him. We're busy in his house, we're distracted by doing good things, and we're anxious and troubled. Jesus' words still stand. One thing is necessary, not to be more disciplined, not to be more productive, not to try harder, but to sit, to listen, to receive. Because before you're called to do anything, you are first called to be his. And that portion, the one Mary chose, can never be taken from you. I'll see you tomorrow.